Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to predict the future by looking at fancy financial documents, and sometimes we get it right, sort of. Today we are diving into an 8K filing from First Source Corporation. Now an 8K is usually for big, unexpected events that a company needs to tell everyone about quickly. So what is the big news? Was there a surprise merger, a sudden profit warning, or perhaps a space alien sighting? Well, not quite that exciting, folks, but it does involve a key person at the company. So the main event here is the impending retirement of John B. Griffith, the Executive Vice President and Chief Risk Officer of both First Source Corporation and its bank. This might not sound like a blockbuster headline, but for a Chief Risk Officer, their role is super important. Think about it, this person is essentially the guardian of the company's financial health, making sure they are not taking on too much risk or facing unexpected dangers. When someone like that retires, especially with a specific date, the 31st of December, it signals a change in how the company will manage its risks moving forward. Now let's quickly touch on some of the standard stuff you see in these filings. This report is filed with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, which is basically the government's watchdog for companies. The date of the report is the 22nd of October 2025, and the company is based in Indiana. They are registered as a public company and their stock ticker symbol is SRCE. This means you can find their stock on the NASDAQ stock market. Here we see the specific type of security that is registered. It is their common stock, also known to many as shares. These are what people buy and sell on the stock market, and the symbol SRC is how you can find it to trade. The fact that it is registered on the NASDAQ stock market LLC tells us that it is a publicly traded company, a significant milestone for any business. This section is really about defining the company's size and how much regulatory scrutiny it faces. A company can be classified as an emerging growth company, which means it has some advantages like being able to delay adopting certain new accounting rules. This helps smaller or newer companies keep their costs down. First Source Corporation is not checking this box, meaning they are considered a more established company and expected to follow all the new rules right away. This implies a certain level of maturity and a commitment to robust financial reporting standards. Item 5.02 tells us about changes within the company's leadership. This is where we learn about directors and officers. The key event here, as we already mentioned, is the retirement of the Chief Risk Officer. John B. Griffith has been a big part of managing the company's risks, and his departure will create a void that needs to be filled. The board of directors will have to find someone new to step into this critical role. It is important to remember that the Chief Risk Officer's job is to protect the company from financial downturns, unexpected market shifts, or even regulatory issues. Having a seasoned professional in this role provides confidence to investors, so the search for a successor will be closely watched. Now, let's talk about the implications of this leadership change. While the filing doesn't give us his retirement speech or any specific reasons for his departure beyond the general intent to retire, the timing and the role itself are significant. Chief risk officers are often instrumental in shaping a company's long-term strategy, especially when it comes to financial stability. Their experience helps the company navigate an increasingly complex economic landscape. The transition period until the 31st of December will be crucial for knowledge transfer and ensuring a smooth handover of responsibilities. Investors will be looking at who is appointed to replace him and what their background and vision are for risk management at First Source Corporation. This could signal a shift in the company's risk appetite or a continuation of its current strategy. While this specific filing is focused on a leadership change, which is important, it does not contain detailed financial tables for us to analyze the company's performance. However, in future filings like a 10Q or 10K, we would be dissecting numbers like revenue, profit margins, debt levels, and cash flow. For instance, if we were looking at a financial table, we'd be searching for trends in their net income growth or any significant changes in their assets or liabilities. For example, a steady increase in revenue would be positive, but if it comes with a ballooning debt, we might see that as a red flag. Conversely, a slight dip in revenue, but a strong improvement in profitability and a reduction in debt would be a sign of successful restructuring and a focus on efficiency. We'd also be comparing these numbers to previous periods and to competitors to get a real sense of how First Source Corporation is performing in the broader market. Are they gaining market share or losing ground? Could their reported profits be misleading, perhaps due to aggressive accounting practices, or are they genuinely generating strong returns for shareholders? If there were significant percentage changes, we'd translate them into real. World impacts like a 10% drop in revenue could mean losing 1 in 10 customers. This report, though, is more about the people behind the numbers guiding the ship. So looking at this from a broader perspective, First Source Corporation is making a transition in a key leadership position. The retirement of their Chief Risk Officer is a noteworthy event. While we do not have financial data in this specific Form 8, it is always important to remember that leadership changes can have a ripple effect on a company's strategy, financial performance, and overall direction. We will be keeping an eye on their future filings to see who steps into Mr. Griffith's role and how they steer the company's risk management efforts. The market will be watching for signs of continuity or a new approach. Alright, that is our quick decode of this 8K filing from First Source Corporation. What is your take on this leadership change and its potential impact on the company's future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for more discussions on all things finance. Thanks for watching. See you next time.